when did you start dancing? Or, I mean, have you danced your entire life pretty much?
I started dancing when I was a kid, and I remember I was like around 4 or 5. This is like the first time when, I started dancing. At first, it was like a folk dance, and then it was more like a contemporary and ballet and Latina, and there were like different styles. But around 5, I believe that was like the first baby steps, that I took, yeah, in my dance journey.
That's neat. Super interesting. So, did you like obviously I'm assuming that was like you danced all the time. Did you dance like competitively or tell
I
me?
actually I actually had a few breaks, in my dance journey, and I think I've shared this only once on my stories, but I think that I had so many beautiful ladies who joined our community since then and who joined my page since then, and they probably don't know like all of the kind of details. But since I was a child, since I was a kid, I always couldn't choose between dance and music. So those like were just like something that I was, both passionately about, and just like it always been so hard for me to choose. So I did had a few gaps, in my dance journey when I, kind of were focusing more on the music and then coming back to dance. But yeah, it was just it's still, it's still a big part of my life. But no, I don't know. I don't want to say that I was like dancing competitively, because again, like I was, always in between music and dance. And if at some point I would choose, like just dance, then yeah, probably I would have like, all the time, that I could focus mostly on that. But it still was like more than enough for me, to kind of to get the spark out of this passion, and just to kind of realize that it's always going to be a big part of my life, no matter what the capacity is going to be. So yeah.
So, when you say music and dance, what do you mean by music?
I finished music school. I know how to play flute, a little bit of piano,
Oh, so
vocal.
you're actually playing instruments. Okay.
Yeah. So it wasn't just, like, and that's where I was, that's music. This is like the place where I actually, took part in a lot of competition. So this is kind of was a big part of my life. And then after I finished my music school, I was also like singing or playing, in the in our like school orchestra. So and then when I were growing up, I was constantly singing. It was I had some when I moved in LA, I had a jazz band. So it music and dance, it has always been like a big part of my life, in different capacities.
Yeah.
So yeah, over the last few years, dance was just like, took like everything. Yes.
Yeah. That's so so neat. And you do have an amazing voice. Like obviously in class you'll sing things a little bit and then yeah, I saw that you were in a jazz band and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, yeah, your voice is incredible." So that's so cool.
Thank you so much. I mean, I definitely had a very big gap right now in music, since I was like mostly focusing on a dance. But I do believe that it's so important for a choreographer, for a dance teacher to have like this really good sense of the beat. And so it truly helped me, in my, dance career, because every single time when I was choreographing, our dances, I'm very particular with music. I'm always trying, to kind of match those like certain beats and tell a story. And I believe that, music school and just like this music education in general, it truly kind of raised this kind of a more like a classy spirit in me.
Yeah.
So that affected my dancing style, because, I do believe that when you go to the music school, you not only just like learn how to play certain instruments, it's a certain class, it's a certain kind of a you learn how to speak different, like you learn how to speak in a certain way, you learn how to feel, even deeper, like, or notice like those little details in the music. So I definitely feel that music, like this the music education really helped me in my dance career. So it's still like very inseparable. Yes.
Yeah. I can see that. That definitely makes a lot of sense. Was there something, so obviously you said you got into like dance and music around age 4 or 5. Was there something that kind of like sparked your interest in that, or was it just kind of like you just naturally gravitated towards it?
I believe there are some children, there are some kids, and where they don't know what they wanted to do, and just parents, they try to find, or helped them, or help their kids to find their passion for them. I was like one of those kids who wanted to try everything, because like I wasn't interested on just like watching TV constantly or just playing outside. I mean, it's a good thing, to spend some time outside. I was just like so passionate, about like learning different skills. So it's always, and my parents, they were like, Julia, you have to slow down. You have to slow down, because for me, like 24 hours was like not enough. That's why it was like so hard for me to choose, and to focus on one thing. And I remember, when I was like 10, and I was doing dance classes and music school and English at the same time. And she's like, Julie, you have to choose, because like you, and even though like I was like a really good student at the school, she's like, you have to choose, because like it affects your health, because like you get so excited that you can't sleep, you just like, you also need to find some time to rest.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like something that I remember, but I remember that, since I started, dancing or my music school, I just loved being around people. I loved, challenging myself and trying something new. So, yeah. So I guess it's just a Gemini in me, or or also the way my parents raised me, because they also kind of helped me, and they always encouraged, me to, keep going. They're like, they I'm like very, I'm very thankful them for, I'm very thankful for the way like they kind of encouraged me and they raised me, because some parents might say, oh, you're not good enough here, you're not good enough here, or you should focus on this. They were like, always, Julia, you should try, and we always be like here for you. So
Awesome. So they kind of let you explore all of your different
yes,
interests.
yes.
That's awesome. Yeah. And so, yeah, share where you grew up, because obviously you mentioned like English and stuff. So, for those listening who maybe, don't take your dance class and have no idea who you are, obviously, yeah, English is not your first language.
Yes, it's not. You might guys hear this. But I was born in Russia. I was born in a beautiful city of Volgograd, and I was very lucky that I was able to travel a lot. Since I was like 10, and since I started traveling, I realized that this world is so huge and there are so many things to see. And it also, kind of brought another spark, like a traveling spark in me. And so I knew, like, since I was like, like around age 10, 11, like that I wanted to do everything that I can, so I can just travel more and explore more. And that's created another passion in me, languages. And so I was like trying to focus a lot on English. And I remember in our university we had this competition, like English competition, and the main prize was the trip to England. And so I'm like, I tried my best to do everything to win this competition, and so this is how I was able to travel to England, because I won this. So there were like a few moments in my life, when, I was really trying my best, to kind of took those chances and, travel the world just to see, explore. And yeah, this is how we, you know, this was just like a very big part of my life, like traveling. So
Yeah. How fun. That's like a fun competition. So do you speak any other languages than beside Russian or English?
I wish, but I'm on my, I started learning French. Um, and then I had some time when I didn't take any lessons, but this is something on my list, because I truly believe that French and Spanish are so beautiful. And again, I like
Yeah.
uh the reason why I think that they're so beautiful, because like they're so musically, just like, it's just like when I hear like those songs, I really wanted to sing them. So again, music, languages, like everything is connected. But yeah, I really wanted to I really wanted to dive into French and Spanish, yeah, in
Yeah.
a few next few years.
Yeah, that would be amazing. I mean, it's just impressive when someone's fluent in two languages, in my opinion. Like I like always wished I could be fluent in Spanish, and I'm not. I can understand it okay, but like just to know a second language is super impressive to me. So you're
I
already well ahead of many people.
I mean, I can fully understand, but sometimes, it's just you kind of I think in both languages, and like sometimes like if I'm like talking, with my friends, we're like using both languages because
Oh,
right now like it's like a mix of culture, yeah. But
yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So, like you said, in the last few years, your focus has been so much more on dance, and so
yeah,
you started a dance community called Body Soul Heels. So, what was your inspiration behind starting that?
there was just like a lot of healing process that was going on in me. And so I LA is a beautiful place. I love it. There are so many beautiful dance classes, but when I moved here, it was really hard for me to find like a beginners friendly class, like a truly beginners friendly class for women of all ages, no matter if they like have any some sort of the experience, dance experience or not. It was hard for me to find this place, and I really wanted to create this space because I do believe that even in the city, even in the lake city, you can feel sometimes like lonely because like you're like always on the go. You're trying to reach your goals, but you need some sort of a community. You need to some sort of a place where you can relax, recharge, dive into your feminine energy. And
Yeah.
I just personally wasn't able to find like this space, and I really wanted to create this space, like for women like me who were going through some personal changes.
Yeah.
And it was like part of dance has always been a part of my healing process, and at that period of time especially. And that's how I came up with the Body Soul Hills name. And I just really wanted to create this safe place, and I was like very blessed to have so many women who joined our community since then.
Yeah. So, how many years has it been then since you started it?
Ooh, well, first of all, I started before COVID, but
Oh,
I started before COVID, but I didn't have the name Body Soul Heels. I was just like
got it.
mostly on my page.
Okay.
And I did a big mistake. I did it. I did not a big mistake, but it was a mistake. Trying to kind of combine my personal page and my like my dance like journey, because it was just like all together. I started before COVID, and then COVID hit, and then it was really hard because like first we didn't know what to expect, like how to deal with this, how to navigate this. And then I remember classes were slowly were opening, but then were still have to wear a mask, and it was like really hard to dance in the mask.
Yeah.
So we had to take a little break and then just like wait it out. And then probably like 8 months, or when it was like a little bit when it got to a better point, I restarted. And then a few months later, I just decided I wanted to create a separate page, and I came up with the name Body Soul Hits.
That's awesome. Very,
Yeah.
very cool. Yeah, that is, I mean, it's such a great idea because obviously I started dancing with Julia in July of last year. I was introduced to Julia through a like mutual friend, Taylor Carr. And if you don't follow Taylor Carr on Instagram, you should. She's a femininity and dating
Yes.
relationship coach. And so she suggested that I start taking dance classes. And she's like, I have the best beginner class for you. Like, I'll connect you with Julia. And so, of course, I was so nervous because I had no dance experience. I mean, outside of like being in kindergarten and maybe first, second grade taking like ballet and tap, but it like never really took off for me. So I was like, I have no rhythm. And I'm so like gym oriented. Like, I am so much into weight training. And so I do all of these very masculine movements. And so one of the things Taylor said is you need more feminine movements in your life, so you need to dance. And so why is dance so good for women? Like, you were saying how it's like a healing process. So talk more about that. How is it so healing for women?
I can talk about this particular topic for a long time because I think that dancing for a woman, for a girl, it's so important. It just should be such a big part of her life because dance just brings, brings like the best in you. I think that dance education, is so important when you are little because it like kind of helps you to develop this flexibility in your body. It helps with your posture. It also helps with the discipline. It helps to notice those little details in music, that really you can implement in so many different areas of your life. So I personally think that you know if you're a mom and you have a little girl, and if you wanted like the best for her, I think, uh, it doesn't mean that she should be like a ballet train dancer, but I think dance in some capacity is like a very beautiful tool, that really helps you to kind of build up the character. If we're talking about like the very early years of our life, then, when you start your teenagers years, again, it's the way you move, the way you feel, because when we don't feel comfortable in our body, it's just like it really, you can see this in our posture, you can see that this in the way we'll look, in the way we kind of hold ourselves, because like it's such a big difference when you constantly look down, or you remember that you have to keep the posture, you need to look up.
Yeah.
It's the way you kind of graciously move your hands. It's like so many little kind of things in that you can kind of see if person takes dance classes. And if we're talking about like starting from 20 to 25 years, I think that dance this is where dance can like really help you to make a very big shift in your life. It can heal you, it can save you, because um let's talk about different aspects
Yeah.
of the dance. When you feel comfortable in your body, and I'm not talking right now about sizes, because like I adore women of all sizes and all of the shapes. It's about you feeling good in your body. It's about you embracing your curves. It's about you embracing your shapes and feeling good. It's just you can feel the energy, and like no matter what you're going to wear, this confidence is going to be in you. I always say that in my classes, dancing in heels, it's not about like wearing particular shoes. It's more about your posture, it's more about your energy and the confidence. You can look beautiful and sexy and all of that with sneakers. So dance really helps you to kind of build this confidence. And again, it's really important to remember that I'm not talking about like arrogance or like, eh,
Yeah.
but like a good sense of confidence.
Mhm.
Secondly, when you are going through ups and downs, again, depending on the like dance style or the songs that you choose for your like dances, or like the songs that you choose, like dance really can help you because you can just relate to certain words and you can allow your body to move along with this. And with the right guidance, I truly believe that this is such a beautiful tool for you to go through some serious changes in your life. And I feel so blessed that I had so many beautiful students who were saying that like my dance classes were a big part of their like healing journey, because in our classes we don't focus on just learning moves. It's more about how you can implement those moves in real life. It's more about how you can kind of tell a story with every single move, or how you can adjust those moves to your character, because I want you guys to bring your personality. So healing thing. And another thing, of course, dance can always help you to kind of reignite the spark in the relationship if you're in a relationship. So it always, kind of the way you move with your partner, the way you are, trying to, keep the fire going. Or if you don't have a partner, this is a beautiful chance for you to still kind of, manifest this, and just imagine that you were like doing the certain moves in front of your future partner, and like in So it's just really kind of a makes another beautiful, helps you to kind of create another beautiful intention or like goal for yourself. But the most important thing, of course, we're always dancing for ourselves and then for someone else. So it's just, yeah, there are just so many things about this. Like, yeah,
Yeah, absolutely. And what you mentioned about like being in like confident in your body and not like from an arrogant sense, but just comfortable with your curves
yes,
and everything. Like one thing that I've really noticed is obviously I'm in the health space, so I'm very in tune with my body. Any little
yeah,
symptom or feeling, like I am aware of that. But what I didn't realize is while I had a lot of awareness of my body and my feeling, I wasn't actually in my body like
yeah,
fully. And so I realized as I started dancing that, oh my gosh, yeah, I'm not in my body in the way that I would have thought. And when we're doing moves, especially with our hands, it is so hard to like put your hand down your neck or something. And that was such a hard thing to learn. And I think that that comes back with, and you could, tell me your thoughts on this, but I think women a lot of times aren't really comfortable in their sensuality just because
yes,
we're not in spaces where we're taught to express it in a safe way, just with other women. So,
yes. Yes, I first of all, I just wanted to say that you've made such an amazing progress over the last 6 months. I remember your first season and just like seeing you shining so bright this Sunday. It like really, it's so beautiful to see you guys just growing and just like to see you guys challenging and to see your progress. And I completely agree with everything that you said. When we're talking about like feeling comfortable touching ourselves, yes, that's a big point. Why I feel like dance is so important, because when I talk in my classes, ladies, touch yourself the way you want it to be touched. Be gentle to your body. Be like grateful. Be thankful. It's so important to learn not only how to be like fit and feel comfortable, but also like the loving part of it. Because sometimes we can be just like so hard on ourselves, and so we focus on this one little detail that is wrong, that we're forgetting about like everything else. And so when I'm choreographing some of the parts, and like when I'm telling you guys, ladies, don't feel shy, don't hesitate, like to gently touch your shoulders or touch your upper body, or like do those kind of a hand moves. This is actually when I find that girls are struggling the most. And I do believe that working with our hands, with our arms, with our palms is like the hardest thing in dance, because
yeah.
like you can learn the beat, you can learn the hips,
Mhm.
like all the technique comes with time. It's but like self-loving part, and not be afraid to fully explore this and to show this is a mindset. This is a mindset. And you can see this, when women, they are, shy to fully open up their like upper body, when they are hesitant to touch, some parts of their body, and when they just, feel more, how should I say, when there is like not enough like kind of a relaxation, in those moves.
Yeah.
So there's just like it all, most of the time it comes all from the mindset and allowing yourself to be like that, the best version of yourself, allowing yourself, to dive into those like beautiful feminine vibes.
Yeah.
And my students, they know that when I do choreographies, I never like cross the line. So like I always, even when we're doing sensual moves, they're always sensual. There's like nothing too vulgar or nothing, too harsh. So I always like very protective, because I'm like a little bit more old fashioned. I want you guys to explore all of that, but don't feel that insecure, to do some of the moves. So, but it definitely takes a lot for women just to feel comfortable, just to fully, use their upper body, their hands, yeah. It's a
Yeah, well, because to really use your upper body, you have to take up space. And I feel like so many
yes.
women have a hard time taking up space. I mean, I struggled with that too. And again, you being used to the more masculine movements where your body's more compact, doing like bicep curls or shoulder press, you're not like doing big movements, and
Hmm.
feminine movements are big and more fluid. And
Yeah,
again, women just aren't really taught that. And so,
yeah. And
I,
another And another, I think, big thing is that I always tell to my students is so important for you guys not to compare yourself to anyone else.
Yeah.
Because like everyone has their own dance journey. Everyone has their own like point A and then point B, point C. Some of the girls, even in our like beginners group, like they started dancing like 6 months ago. Some of them started like 3 months ago. Some of them just started. And all of you guys have different flexibility. All of you guys have different sense of the beat. So when women usually like dance, it's so important for you guys to know that it's not a competition. Like you just like it, you should really focus on yourself. It's really great to get an inspiration from your fellow students, but it's so important just to kind of focus mostly on yourself and just like track your own progress. Because what happens sometimes, girls can be just like so much in their head when they start comparing themselves to other girls, and this is the hardest thing. Like this is seriously the hardest thing. And this is what I'm trying to encourage my community during my classes, during my workshops. Ladies, please remember that all of you guys are unique, and the main goal of my classes is not to teach you how to only dance to the beat. This is like a good part of it. No, the most important thing is to teach you how to love yourself, how to be able to shine on your own, how to kind of how you guys can just support all other women without feeling that it takes something from you. Does it make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. And I feel like
So
women really have to learn because I feel like women are so often put against each other and feel like they have to compete. And so learning that
yes,
you can support everyone and yeah, it doesn't take anything away from you is really important. And we
yes,
need more of that energy in those
yes.
spaces around for women.
Yes, it is really important because like again, like in a lot of dance classes here, like it really feels like a competition. It really feels like a competition, and that's why it's so important. That's why it's so important for me to always mention this to my students, that this is not a competition. This is a beautiful celebration. This is not a competition. This is your own personal journey. And I want everyone to take their time, like in this like learning process.
Yeah, absolutely. What brings women to your class most of the time? Like what are the different reasons that are like, okay, I want to start a heels class. And maybe people don't even tell you why. They
Though actually, this is a very big part of our like first class of our first classes during our during our courses, because like I always ask my students what's their intention. Because for me as a teacher, it's really important to understand what like kind of brought them, and what brought them there. And because there are some women who come to my classes just to have fun, just to like focus on themselves, just to relax, because most of them like moms and wives and business ladies, and they're like doing so many things in a day, and they just wanted to like to find like a safe space for them just to be themselves, just be Taylor. And some of the women, they're really coming to my classes when they're going through a lot of things. I had a lot of women who were going through divorces, or like after breakup things, or some like things in their like work field. So that was like a safe space for them to kind of release those emotions, to cry it out. And I always like encourage this, especially when we're dancing to some of the slower songs, to release those emotions, to kind of be able to not only release, but to feel that you are not alone. Because when you share those struggles or the moments that you're going through, and someone says, oh, I'm going through the same thing, it kind of helps you to go through those moments, feeling that you still have this, and you still have some sort of a support, and I do really think that it's really important just to know that no matter what you're going through, someone is going through the same. And like knowing this, it kind of helps you to go through those hard moments. Some of the girls that do come to learn different choreographies, or to drill their techniques, or to learn how to work on this the camera performance. So this is why I always ask, because depending on their intention, I can challenge them in a different way. For example, I most of my students who are in intermediate group, they wanted to focus on the technique. They wanted to focus on their turns. They wanted to focus on how to be more comfortable in the camera. So
Yeah.
I try to challenge them like in this like more like a personal way, and like when we're practicing, this is what I'm like kind of a pushing a little bit, just to they can kind of challenge and work on those particular things. But what is going to be the point for me to challenge my beginners, my especially those ladies who came into our class and say like, I going through a lot of things. I just wanted to have fun. What's going to be the point if I'm going to tell this woman, you did the wrong hair
Yeah.
flip. That was not on count. You were doing this too fast. You were doing this too slow. So instead of like feeling encouraged or kind of a instead of like feeling alive and inspired, she will feel discouraged and she's like, oh, that's too much for me to handle. So that's why I'm saying like the reasons why women can usually come to my classes like are so different, and I always try to challenge those ladies, um like in a completely different way depending on their intention this particular month.
Yeah. And that's what's so impressive is that you challenge everyone based on where they're coming from. So
Yes.
everyone's being challenged on the same level. Because that can, I mean, I was intimidated when I first came. Like, am I expected to like, be on the same
Yeah.
level as everyone else? So yeah, so you really do listen to everyone's intention and challenge them with what they feel comfortable with and where they're at in that, exact moment.
And also women are so different, and this is the beauty. For some ladies it can take like 1 month to start feeling comfortable dancing in front of the girls. In some girl For some ladies it takes some time, so that's why like I never wanted to push anyone. I want to for everyone to feel challenged but not overwhelmed. This is like the main rule in my community, and that's why I'm very kind of a gentle with my beginners. The same with an intermediate, but they since they like dance like longer, they kind of already have their own things. But yeah, this is like a very important thing, and I do think that again, like dance such a powerful tool, and I really want like more women to like explore this and just realize that how it can affect your body in the most beautiful way. But again, like if they would come to my classes and instead of like feeling inspired, they would like kind of feel that I'm like too harsh on them, or like they would be like afraid doing something wrong. I don't think like this is the right approach. That's why I always say this, ladies, if you need more time for doing those moves, for this moves, like at the end of the season, like feel free to do this. I want you guys to mostly focus on your emotions, on feeling comfortable and having fun. Because again, the perfectionism is such a big thing. And sometimes when we're learning something, we are again like focusing so much on getting to a certain point that we're forgetting that the journey, it's a big part of it, and you should like embrace it with all of those like ups and downs. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I remember the first time when I went and you were like, yes, you film by yourself. I was like, oh my God, there's no way I will ever be able to film a dance routine by myself. But then you do it and it gets easier.
And
So,
again, like that's why it's so important for me, to make sure that everyone feel comfortable not only during the learning process but during the filming process.
yeah.
So that's why like I dance with everyone, we cheer every single person. So yeah, like when girls like film with us at least once, they know that it's not scary at all, because like everyone is like very supportive, like everyone is cheering, everyone is like clapping and saying, yay, Taylor, you did it. I'm counting, I'm dancing. So, yeah, I'm kind of trying to create this beautiful, safe bubble for you guys to learn.
Yeah, and it really is. It's truly safe, and everyone is so supportive, which takes a lot of the nerves away. I mean, it's still nerve-wracking your first time, but you
Yeah.
you quickly find how not intimidating it is and how it wasn't scary at all, and it felt very, very comfortable and safe. So, yeah.
How did you how do you feel like um your perspective of dancing like has changed, since your first dance experience like 6 months ago, and right now after you dance for 6 months?
I definitely feel like I'm in my head a lot less. I'm a lot less stiff. I feel a lot more in flow, obviously more in my body. When I first filmed, I was like, oh, well, I don't think filming will be that intimidating. Like, I have to do a lot of content and stuff for work for social media. So I'm like, I'm in front of cameras a lot. But it was definitely something that was for sure. So I remember I stepped out. Dirty Diana was my first filming one, and I
Oh
stepped out
yes.
for my turn, and it was like I forgot everything. Like I just
It's just like a blink.
it was everything went blank. But now I step out and yeah, nothing goes blank. I know what I'm doing. I feel more comfortable. I can play with the camera more and show a little bit more emotion and facial expression. Obviously, I look back and I'm like, okay, I still see room for improvement. Obviously, I'm still very
Yeah.
new, but I can definitely feel in my body I'm a lot less stiff and a lot more comfortable. And again, more confident to take up space and do the movements with my hands, which, just took a little time to get there. But yeah.
But right now you were talking more about the filming process, but
Oh,
I always say this, that dancing skills and filming skills are two different types of skills. So you guys always should track your progress like on the last day of the class of the season, because like filming in front of the camera, it also can take time, because like again, it's different, dancing in a class, like this is where you can like fully, kind of relax and just like apply all of the techniques and all of the knowledges. But dancing in front of the camera, that's something, it's like a separate skill, that
yeah.
we're building, that we're focusing on once you guys start feeling more comfortable in your body and just doing the choreographies. Yeah.
Yeah, well, and definitely in class, a lot more relaxed. Like when I look back at the videos that we take when we're practicing, I'm like, oh yeah, like it's so much better than what it was. I haven't really compared one from like my first season to now, but I really should because it'd probably be a totally night and day transformation. So,
Well,
yeah.
you're amazing. I told you this. Yes.
Thanks. So what's your creative process like? Like you pick so many amazing songs to dance to. So
Thank
like how
you.
do you choose what song? How do you choose the choreography? Like kind of what goes into it? Where do you choose how to film? Like I know you put so much time and effort into all of those factors. So like how do you begin when you're, planning for a season?
Well, I've shared this with my community before, that I think this is like a Gemini part in me. I always wanted to bring the diversity in our classes, and I think this is kind of the one thing that really like make our community really stands out, because like all of the seasons like are just so different, and by seasons I mean like courses. So all of our courses just like are so different. So I always try to make sure that we kind of telling different stories with every single month. And this is kind of I'm challenged in a really nice way. I love challenging myself. And I also wanted to bring this diversity to our community and for women to explore that you can be, that they can kind of discover so many different sides of themselves. So I always start like with like a more like a vibe that I wanted for the season, and then the studio, and then I choose the song.
Okay.
Because like again, because again, like I want every single month to be so different, that I'm always in search for the most unique locations here in LA. So if you look at our page, like all of the difference are different, all of the seasons are different, all of the like studios that we're like filming, they're different. The lights, like the whole vibe, the outfits. So I always start with the vibe, studio, and then the song. And I am more like an old fashioned girl. I really love music from 80s, 90s, 2000s. We there are like some songs like that are right now on the radio that I like, but it's not like that they like, oh, yeah, this is what I'm going to dance to. Like, it's not that the music right now is bad. I just don't feel like that I can relate to those like lyrics or to those music lines. There are a few current songs that I choreographed, over the last few years, like "Lose Control," "Tile of Water." But other than that, most of my songs are like from a few years, decades ago.
Yeah.
It's
That's so interesting though that you picked the song last. I would never have guessed that. So that's
I
fascinating.
mean, I'm always like on search again for the vibe, for the studio, for the songs. And again, I really need to love the song so I can like listen to it like over and over again. Because like imagine the process when I choreograph this. I listen to the song before I show you the choreography like 4 million times. So I need to really love the song so I can relate to the lyrics and so it can match the vibe. And also the very big factor when it comes for me to choose the song, it's I really don't choose any songs that that has like a lot of like cursing things, because like a lot of like current songs, they say all of those words that I don't personally use and I don't really kind of appreciate. So yeah, that's why like taking those songs from the past. So yeah,
Makes sense. Yeah.
yeah, I like, and I do believe that again, I think it comes from the musical education. I think that you can like sing and talk about so many topics in a more like a classy way. You can make songs, about love, about even making love in a more like a beautiful way. Right now, it just feels that some of the songs just a little bit too harsh. Yeah.
Too
Yes.
expensive. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you ever get sick then, like when the season ends and we finish the song? Are you ever like, okay, I can't even listen to that song for for a while? Like,
Actually, not really.
oh
Not
really?
really.
Okay.
No, I mean, that's why I'm saying like it's so important for me to choose the song that I really like that, no matter how many times I listen to this, like I can listen to over and over again. No. But my poor husband, when we started dancing to Write It, Jay Sean, that was like one of my all-time favorite songs, like since I was 15. And I did one season with Write It, and like a few years ago, and then like this is one of my go-to songs that when I drive in the car. And
Yeah.
then when I told him I'm going to do another season with this song, he was like, "God, Lord, I hope that you will stop listening to this song after the season." But no, still there, still there.
Oh, I love that. So you kind of touched on this already, but what makes your heels dance class different from other heels dance classes out there?
I think a few things. So first of all, I think it's the diversity.
Hmm.
It's just like every single workshop, every single dance course, like it's like a beautiful separate journey, because like there are no like two the same like workshops, or not two the same like courses. All of the vibes are different, the moves are different. So even for my beginners, every single month I do give some fundamentals, but I also bring some new moves, so they can explore that. So I think diversity and the whole like filming process by itself, because again, filming kind of a takes a big part in our classes, and it's really important for me for women to feel comfortable, for them, to be able to dress up, to kind of try different roles. I always said this, that you don't need to choose if you want it to be naughty or nice. You can be all of that. 1 month, you can dance to sophisticated shada with no ordinary love, beautiful light. The other dance you can experience more like a flamenco vibe, because I think I forgot to mention that every single month I'm like dancing not only to like a classic hill style, but I'm trying to bring the diversity, and I love to combine some of the styles. Another month she can explore, hills with Latina vibes, or hills with flamenco vibes, or hills with a little bit of hip hop vibes. So it's just different. Or like when we're dancing to Tile of Water, like hills with Afrobeats. So it's always such a big diversity, not only in terms of the song, the filming process, the vibe, but also in terms of the move. So it's kind of a, they're not only experience like a hill style, but like so many other styles. Another big thing, I think it's the community, because I think I love working with people, and I feel that when I'm there in the class, I try to give it all, and I try to be really present, and just like try to personalize things for as much as I can. And I feel that women who even once experienced our classes and courses like to the fullest, they can say that like having this like safe space, it kind of really helps you to get out of your comfort zone. So I think this is kind of a big thing, and that you know women of all ages and shapes of forms, can just come, to our classes and not be afraid that, someone will be looking down to them, on them because like they don't have enough experience. So I think like safe space, I think it's another thing. I don't know. I mean, I think those like are really two big parts of that. And I think another thing that I'm right now thinking, um, I'm really I'm really trying to tell a story every single month with our dances. I've noticed that being a dance teacher and a choreographer is like a two different things because not all when I see sometimes women are trying to choreograph, it's like a random moves, that they don't have that the where you don't see like any connection between them. I'm always trying to, kind of match certain lyrics with some moves so we can kind of really tell the story. And I think this is also that really separates, our community because like I do kind of spend a lot of time on choreographing for every single season, for every single workshop, just trying to make sure that kind of we're telling the story not only with our body, but like the way we kind of create this like mm, raising this, mm, bringing more and more emotions, during the song. Does it
Yeah,
make sense?
definitely. Yeah, totally. What and like how could this was a question that someone had. How could a beginner start a dance routine at home if they wanted to start getting comfortable, dancing and moving their body?
Like if like this person's like is a like a beginner, I've never danced before.
Yeah.
I think that the most important thing, first of all, give yourself some time to remember the routine because it's really hard to start remembering routine if you don't have any experience and you don't have like any technique. So if you decide to do this on your own, just give yourself enough time to drill those moves on your own. And again, it depends on your intention. If you just wanted to learn how to dance to have fun, then just don't be so much in your head.
Yeah.
Just try to remember, try to kind of move along and kind of have fun with this. If you want to take it more seriously, then just really give yourself a little bit more time to drill every single move. And if you're learning some choreographies online, just like do the screen recording on the screen recordings and then just do the slow motions or like choose like certain moves that harder for you to remember, just so you can drill those separate moves over and over and over again. Because like again, techniques, it's more about like drilling and just like making sure that our body remember this. So yeah.
Yeah, totally. So what do you love most about teaching dance? Like what's your favorite part about it?
People.
People. Yeah.
People, I love people. I mean, again, I remember I had one student in our July course and she came to me and she's like, how do you manage to work with so many people, because like with so many women, because like women are so different and like and I'm just like you probably like are really like you have so much not passion, that you have patience, you have so much patience.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I just love what I do and I love working with people, and I don't want to like limit them in their like creative kind of a creative exploration of themselves. And so I just love working with people. I love that I'm able to bring all of those like creative aspects to life, like not only like creating a beautiful story for a whole month for us to kind of a dance, but also working with you, seeing your progress, kind of supporting you, encouraging you, seeing the way you guys build friendships. This is just so rewarding. And it kind of I always wanted to make impact on people's life, in some capacity. And if I can do this through the dance, this is like the biggest reward. So just like seeing women, doing those baby steps and just like feeling more comfortable in their bodies, learning how to support each other and building those friendships within our community. Yeah, that's kind of a beautiful part of it.
Yeah. But yeah, it is impressive how many women that you work with. And, again, like you keep their intention in mind and you challenge them just based on that. So it's very, very impressive.
So,
Well,
thank
to wrap up our episode, I always like to end with some rapid fire questions with
you.
my.
Okay.
So I just have some fun questions for you. So the first one is, what's your go-to breakfast? Obviously, I'm in the health space, so I always ask people what their go-to breakfast is in the morning.
I would say avocado toast, smoothie, or banana pancakes.
Also, yeah, oh, I love banana pancakes. And then what does your morning routine look like? I feel like, especially women, we have very specific morning routines that we do.
Unfortunately, and this is something that I need to work on. Unfortunately, over the last few years, the first thing that I do when I wake up is that I start working. Like, because,
Yeah.
this is something that I need to work on. So I first work and then coffee, breakfast, and all of that. And then I have a workout, but I wanted to work on this. So I don't start with work right away.
Yeah, I'm guilty of that too. I do it some mornings. It's not the best.
Yes.
And then what is your favorite fruit?
I would say banana.
Oh,
I would
amazing.
say banana.
They're a very versatile fruit. I do love banana.
Yes, yes. You can just like do so many beautiful, yeah, recipes for them.
And then how do you de-stress? Like obviously, I'm sure dance is an outlet, but are there any other things that you do personally that help you with de-stressing?
Hot bath, um, walk, music, like jazz music.
Okay.
I can just listen for jazz music.
Love it.
And I don't know, maybe like if it's a nighttime, maybe some, romantic movie, I'm a very romantic soul or a romantic book. So yeah.
I love that. That's so precious. And what is your favorite song that you've choreographed a dance to? Although I know you mentioned on Sunday that you can't pick. So,
No, this is like I can like seriously. They're just like it's really hard for me to choose because they're just so different. And again, maybe it's because I'm Gemini. It's
okay.
really hard for me to choose one thing. No, this is
Do you have
the.
your top three?
But we're talking about songs or seasons. I mean, lose control probably.
Yeah,
Lose
I
control.
guess it's hard because I
It's
guess, yeah,
so
when
hard.
I say song, I probably mean season because I know sometimes you repeated songs, but I don't know, song or season.
Um, so hard. I mean, it's so hard to like compare, like a slower song to a faster one.
Yeah.
It's just like Shadano, Ordering Your Love were so deep and like we were able to experience this from vulnerability. But then like dancing to Jennifer Lopez, Get Right with those kind of a props were so much fun. Or experience the flamenco vibe during Ain't Funny song.
Yeah.
So this is just too hard. Yeah.
Yeah. Is there a song that you'd love to dance to that you haven't to yet, that you haven't done choreographed
I
yet?
actually do have the name of the song Insatiable. Did I pronounce this correctly?
Yeah,
Insatiable.
insatiable. Hmm.
It's like it's a beautiful song. I think it's like from 2000s, but this is actually a beautiful example of how you can create a song about making love, but in such a beautiful, classy, sophisticated way. So
Yeah.
this one song. Yeah.
Well, hopefully you'll do that soon, and that would be fun. And then what is your vision for your dance class in the future? Like your future goals with your class?
I just wanted to, expand my classes. We'll be opening right now classes in the new areas, so I still will be having classes in Los Angeles, and right now we'll be probably having classes in Orange County. So I'm just really excited to get to know even more women,
Yeah.
here in LA in a Orange County area, and kind of a learn more about them, create even more choreographies to those songs that I have in my mind. And I feel right now I don't want it to say that I wanted to slow down, no, but I definitely wanted to kind of mm, try to balance my life a little bit more because over the last few years, I was like obsessed with dance. It was just like obsessed in the most like beautiful way. When you are passionate about something, it just like takes every single second of your like time and your attention. And I do really feel that sometimes I just find myself like sleeping and then starting choreographing in my dream and then waking up. No, this is serious. And so right now I just wanted to kind of find a new balance, where I can give myself again some rest, change my morning habits, because
Yeah.
waking up like 7 in the morning, writing, and start like working right away is, yeah, I
Yeah.
just like,
Brain have a rest and be able to just breathe.
I just really wanted to find the balance, between it, like my work, which is my passion,
Yeah.
but my passion, which is my work, and my life. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's important because you don't want to have burnout, right? We all suffer from burnout
Yeah.
if we go for too long. So, yeah.
So,
But that's awesome that you're expanding. I am really excited to see
thank
what.
you so much. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much, Julia, for being here. I'm so glad we got to talk about dance. Obviously, like female embodiment is such a big topic today. And I think more and more women are starting to get on board with ways that they can practice female embodiment. And obviously, dance is like one of the best ways that you can do that. So I really appreciate you sharing your experience and your story and all the other fun things.
Thank you so much for inviting me. It was it was like a pleasure, and also getting to know you a little bit more. And, just I hope that, this will inspire, more women to try it and just like, experience this in their fullness. Thank you so much, Taylor.
Of course. Oh, and if anyone wants to find you and wants to dance in your community, how can they find you?
They can find me BodySoulHeels.
All right. And I will tag her Instagram in the show notes as well. So you guys will be able to find it. And if you want to sign up, you send her a DM through there. So
thank you so much, Taylor. Thank you.
you.